Hello, everyone, and welcome to the TalentHut TESOL Academy Teachers Podcast with a new episode. I'm your host, Nofa Kat, and today we have a very special guest among us. In this episode, exactly, we're going to talk about teachers, of course, but in a more closer view. Like we're gonna take a closer look to that journey. It's not about theory, okay, but we're going to talk about a live experience as well. Our guest, Lisa Horihan, has worked as a classroom teacher, teacher trainer, and academy director. And her path reflects the realities many teachers face nowadays, of course, and also as they grow professionally. This conversation follows her development from her earliest teacher experience to her current role, highlighting, of course, her decisions, her challenges, and reflections that shaped her practice along the way as well. Whether you are new to teaching or well into your career, this episode invites you to pause and reflect on how your own journey is unfolding. Hello, Lisa. How are you?
Hi, hello, North. Thank you for having me. I'm very well, thank you. I had a very unusual into teaching, really. So I was a nurse first and a nurse mentor, which is what sort of whet my appetite for teaching. But we will talk more about that as we go through. So yeah, nurse to teacher to business owner, managing global tutors now. So yeah, a
Yeah, an
long
amazing
journey.
journey full with
Yeah,
challenges, I'm sure.
definitely.
Yes. So before we start about the teaching part, I want you to tell me, like, why did you do this career shift? Why did you leave nursing and change into teaching? Like, what happened?
So I think when you are nursing and you're in that clinical environment, you are constantly learning and improving your practice. And as the new students and nurses arrive and the new doctors arrive, you then teach your knowledge and skills onto them. And so with that, I did qualification and found that I really loved passing on the knowledge and sharing that knowledge. So I come from I've worked all over clinically, different wards, medical, surgical, but my main forte, I suppose, was critical care, intensive care units, high dependency units. And so the level of knowledge is beyond your average. And so I had a lot of knowledge to share. I got ill a few years ago, back in 2016, and it forced me out of the physical hands-on nursing role. I just couldn't, my body couldn't manage it anymore. And so had to think about what was next. And because I love teaching, that was a natural sort of move into that sort of industry. I'm still a registered nurse. I'm still on the UK's NMC registered website, still speak to patients. I do that sort of half of my time. I do remote work with patients rather than hands-on work. So there's a lot of communication involved. It's more difficult to, I guess, build rapport with patients when you're speaking to them on the phone rather than face to face. And so that's a whole new bunch of skills that I took into the other half of my work, which is teaching and running TO Academy.
Right. Yes, that's amazing. And of course, first thing, it's good that your health is better now. So that's what matters most. And secondly, I think, yes, I agree with you. It's amazing to be part of others' development, in case teaching or any other profession as well. Okay, so in this case, let's start to dig deeper into teaching. So, when you first started teaching, of course, like how did you plan, deliver lessons? What assumptions, let's say, did you have about what good teaching is? Like, did you ask for help? Did you try to get any kind of qualification related to teaching?
Yeah, I guess initially coming from again, a clinical or nursing background, I had a really sort of procedural view of
Yes.
I will plan this exactly. My lesson plans will be this. We will stick to this because this will work because that's how nursing works and medicine
Sure.
works. And so
Certain
initially
steps.
going into it, my mind was very sort of straight from the textbook to the classroom, which and as you will know, and everybody will know, it doesn't always work that smoothly. So, yeah, I think it was precision protocols and task orientated initially. I thought if I, explained things clearly, then the student would get it, and then we would move on. So I'd say that was my
Like
my
your
first
first
sort of
goal.
delivery and my assumption, yeah, my
Yeah,
first assumption was it will be just the same as what I've been doing the entire time. I've been teaching new nurses and new doctors as they came in, but it's very different. It's not
true. It is true.
when you
And
have to use your words rather than physically show someone, it is more difficult, I think.
I agree
That
with
was
you.
that was the wake up for me. Yeah.
Yes, I totally agree on that. And you've talked about the difficulties that passed through the beginning of your career, we can say. So, first of all, did you start with young learners or adults at the beginning?
Always adults.
Okay.
Always adults. I was probably a little afraid to teach children, and I probably still am a little afraid to teach children. And and so my focus has always been on adult learners, more professional learners, or students at university age and university level, especially in terms of what I teach, which is English for medicine and business, personally teach still. And so adult learners are the more appropriate. I think children would have made me nervous.
Yes, they are
Children would
more
make me
difficult.
nervous.
Like, yes, it's better
Absolutely.
that, yeah, you started with adults. Yes, that
You become as a teacher of children. I know this, I have friends in the industry that you're not just a teacher, you're everything to that person. You're a mother, a therapist, a social worker, and they're incredible people.
role model.
As much as I could, yeah, but as much as I can, manage life or death situations with patients, I probably couldn't handle a classroom full of children, and that's my honest thought on that.
They're difficult. I agree. They're difficult to handle.
Yeah.
I totally agree on that
Yeah.
because I started with young
And there
learners
are,
and it was tough. It was a tough
yeah.
start. So yeah, the adults are more easy to, we can say, to communicate with and to handle, even to manage the classroom. So I agree on that.
Mm,
Yes. Okay. So
yeah. And I think there are still challenges with adults,
true.
but yeah,
Yeah, we can say maybe different ones than the younger learners.
yeah, slightly different.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
I think not, and I sort of touched on this briefly earlier, was that not all learners respond in the same way as I may have expected them to.
true.
So again, early days, going from nursing, instructing your patients to do certain things, and then being compliant was a given. You're a nurse, you're authoritative, you know what you're talking about, and patients want to get better, and so they listen to you.
Yes.
Even with adult learners, they're not necessarily responding to the instruction in the same way as people respond to care. And so that was a skill to learn too, to be able to identify the different types of learners that I was coming across and to realize that I couldn't just dictate information to somebody. It wasn't a one way, I know the answer, so I'm going to tell you what to do. It became more collaborative. And that's continued, that collaboration now with my students is how I continue to teach, and I get feedback from them in the moment. I get feedback from them every few weeks. And it's not me telling them things. It's us discussing things. And how a lot of the adult learners will benefit from that information.
It's really nice that you have mentioned some of the difficulties and how you were able to manage them. And also regarding the feedback, that's amazing. Like, how important do you think it is? Or maybe even an observation, or maybe your own reflection to a lesson.
Yeah, I guess for me, one of the sort of the big moments was using a teaching platform that had and this was fairly recently, but it had some sort of AI stats production. The amount of time that I spent speaking was 51% and my student was speaking 49%. And this was a one-on-one session. And as you can probably tell, I love to talk, but it did make me realize that this isn't all about me and what I've got to say. This is not, I know how to speak English. I'm doing it. I do it all the time. I had to, that was an eye opener and a wake up call for me to go, actually, I want my students to be at least 51%, if not more. They should be speaking to me. So that was a big moment, actually. My lessons were always nice and clear and supportive and encouraging. I was just talking way too much.
I agree with you. Yes, I think all of us, when we first started, we used to talk a lot during our sessions. But yes, through time, we've learned that we need to minimize our talking time. And in this case, what did you do to minimize it? Like, did you do some kind of practice, ask
Yeah,
someone
so
help?
I had to give myself a little visual aid.
Okay.
So for me, it was my phone propped up at the bottom of my screen, which was, 5 minutes have passed, 10 minutes have passed. And just for me to notice that was to check myself
Okay.
and to say, now you tell me what you think first and give them more of a chance to speak before it got to the lessons 45 minutes in and we've not got long left and Lisa's not stopped speaking. So yeah, a visual
Yeah.
cue was enough for me to keep my focus and to encourage their speaking more.
Right. That seems really impressive, by the way. I think I'll try it. I
It
like this.
is.
Yes.
I think I need a visual aid just
Yeah.
to say, Lisa, stop talking. Once I'd grown up and moved out of my mum's house and she wasn't there to tell me to stop talking, I needed something to do that instead.
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, I really liked it, by the way. Yes. Really going to try it because it happens sometimes, especially one-to-one sessions. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
good. And in this case, didn't you think about maybe pursuing a kind of certificates like Celta, Delta, others?
Yeah, yeah. So I'd done many years ago, I'd done a postgraduate certificate in mentorship for healthcare, which was
Yes, you're
basically a
familiar.
teaching,
Mm,
postgraduate teaching certificate, medical specific. But because I wanted to move towards teaching English for medical professionals, I did the TEFL qualification. So I sat and I did that qualification. I would say I don't think I'll ever stop learning, and there were maybe many more certificates to come. I have been busy with TO and developing that and learning so much about business from that side of things, from when it's your own, well, it's kind of co-founded with my husband, but we're the accountants, the marketers, the tech guys, the customer service representatives. So we were very busy with that.
yeah.
And we do have a couple of businesses going. My husband is doing his MBA, so master's in business. He already has a master's degree as well. And he works in education, training trainers. And so, yeah, I'm constantly learning
Yeah, it's nice. Of course,
CPD.
I'm
Yeah.
sure that you learn a lot from him. Like he helps you.
He does, and he's really knowledgeable and we bounce ideas off each other and we give each other inspiration.
True.
Usually when he gets out of the shower, he'll go, I've had this idea, and we discuss and we collaborate and we bounce ideas back into, and that's yeah, we're a good pair for that sort of thing. But I wouldn't say I will ever stop learning. I constantly look at other tutors and educators. LinkedIn is like one of the places. I'm on LinkedIn every single day because there are so many educators on there and
True.
so many great resources that people share. So I'm constantly saying, "Oh, thank you for this. It's amazing." And it's things that you may do but not realize the
True.
structure of. And so, yeah, I love that. Yeah, I'm a sponge of information as well. I love learning new things, and I learn a lot from my students. So much stuff.
True. Yes, we learn a lot from them. And it's really nice that you're always seeking for professional development. Okay, so that's, of course, really inspiring. And what do you think is the relation between this professional development and confidence? Like, are you now more
Oh,
confident about what you do more than when you first started?
yeah. I would say I'm definitely much more confident. I still have imposter syndrome sometimes. I don't know why. I know I'm knowledgeable and experienced and capable, but then even when people approach me for podcasts like this, I'm like, why do you want to speak to, like the initial sort of thing is like, why do they want to speak to me? And then I say, actually, no, I'm valuable. I've got value to add to these conversations. But so I think that's confidence, but in general, the more you do, the more comfortable you become.
True,
And so the more students I meet, the more experiences that I have
true. Yeah,
and learn, that then moves on into my next lesson and my next group of people. And so I'm constantly, everyone's getting a slightly better version of me, I hope, as time goes on. So yeah, I think that's kind of the biggest
true.
confidence boost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just like what you said, that practice makes progress and perfect, we can say eventually as well.
Yeah. And nobody is naturally, some people have are
Good.
gifted, but nobody is
Yeah.
naturally
Related
going
to
to
teaching,
know.
I think no.
Yeah.
We
Yeah. No
all
one's
need
going to
help
know
at the beginning.
everything.
True.
Exactly. We all need help at the beginning and in the middle and at the end. And I think
True.
coming from the medical background again, I don't want to keep harping on about this, but you do not work in isolation when you're a nurse or a doctor or anything else. You have to rely on your team
Mm,
to help you in life or death situations. You might be the most senior member of that team, but you still need the rest of the team to do their stuff, and you have a responsibility then to teach them. And I think even as a teacher and as an experienced teacher and one that's got the degrees and the postgrad certificates and all the rest of it, you still need your colleagues, you still need your group, you still need your team to support you to improve and to give feedback and to give encouragement and ideas and congratulations. Like I think as humans, we need that. We need
true.
we need a team around us in every aspect of life. And I think teaching, on one hand, can feel like an isolated profession because you're the teacher, it's your classroom, and you're managing that. But actually, we've got a world of support out there. There's
True.
a world of passionate wonderful teachers that want to share and want everybody else to do better. And so for me, I might work from home remotely, but I feel like I've got a team behind me. And
That's it.
it's a safety net. It's reassuring.
Yes, it is true. Yes, team is a very important aspect, especially for teachers. And I know lots of teachers who really like their teammates maybe to join one of their sessions and give them like a feedback about their teaching and so on. And they really believe that it's efficient for
Yeah.
them.
I
So
think having somebody look in on you to see how you're teaching is really important, because what you don't want to do is continue doing the wrong thing forever. And I think as a teacher, you are in a position of power over your students slightly. Definitely, obviously, if you teach children, but even as an adult, they look up to the teacher and they expect you to be doing everything correctly. And so you need that support to check and say, yes, you're doing this great. You could maybe do this a little bit better. So yeah, that's always a great tool to have peers sit in or listen to or watch back your lessons. Great resource to have.
yes, I totally agree on that as well. And I just want to add something related to TEFL. So, what did you gain out of it? So, should we recommend teachers to do it, or what do you think?
I I would, if you're wanting to teach English as a foreign language,
Hmm.
it's not necessary. I have tutors on our platform that have linguistics degrees and English degrees and things like that. The great thing from the TEFL is that it taught you about the pedagogy and teaching techniques and types of students that you could have, their learning types and needs. And so even if a TEFL certificate doesn't teach you how to teach English, you should be able to speak and communicate in English to be able to do that. It teaches you it teaches you how to teach. And it's a short course. I think it's 120 hours. The lowest course is 120 hours, but it gives you that teacher
Of course.
knowledge, the
Yes.
how to teach and what students would expect from you as a valuable teacher.
And I think you feel more confident after you
Yeah,
learn all of these theories and approaches and so on.
it does. And it's interesting. It is interesting. So a lot of the stuff I'd done through my mentorship postgrad certificate, but then a lot of it was a refresher for me. And I found it fascinating to go, oh yeah, I'd forgotten this. And this learner-centered pedagogy or this scaffolding or all these different sort of concepts that we use and learn. And you kind of you don't forget to use them, but you maybe forget what they're called a little bit as you get more comfortable into it. So it was like a refresher for me, and I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed doing the course. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Of course, I have a celta, and yeah, it really enlightened me to lots of things.
How I was uh, just a question with that. So the CELTA is something I was considering doing. How how is that different to maybe a more basic TEFL qualification, would you say?
I think it digs deeper into more approaches and methodologies. That's what I think. I don't have a TEFL, okay? So I can't be 100% sure about the differences, but I want to say that yani, it enlightened me in a way that I've never imagined, changing my perspective about lots of things, if it's related to teaching, communication, and other as well. So I really advise it, to be
Yeah.
honest. So, yeah, the practice also that I had, of course, I'm talking about face to face. I'm not sure about the online part, if it's
Mm,
that effective. Okay.
yeah.
But related to face, yes, it was amazing. You have lots of teaching practices that you can do. An assessor from Cambridge would observe you, okay, and give you feedback, other than the assignments and so on. So it takes a lot of work, but you
Yeah.
come out of it like new person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
very knowledgeable.
it's the gold standard really. The
Mm,
Cambridge, it is the gold standard in
yeah.
English language teaching, and it is something I probably will get round to doing when I have the time. But yeah, so and again, it's impressive that you have that. And I think there'll be crossovers again, but there's a lot, as I understand, with the CELTA is the examination or the assessment of your students goes into more depths with the CELTA, I think, than the TEFL. TEFL is more, like I say, it's how to teach
Mm.
but I think examination and more formal assessments are covered more in the CELTA. So yeah, I probably should do that at some point while I'm
True.
running an online language platform. Yeah, it's probably yeah.
True. And I just want to add something like, why did you choose teaching online? Okay, not face to face.
So when I first started, it was during COVID
Hmm.
when I did the TEFL certificate, when a lot of people did start working remotely. And when I was mentoring and teaching in clinical roles, that was in person and face to face. But with COVID, so much of the world moved online and remote work then it meant that you could access anybody in the world at any time and you could teach a student in India or Egypt or South America or anywhere remotely. And the tools at our disposal now are so much better, even than they were 5 years ago. So the platform, so TO itself is a platform. where we have classroom tech from a company called Lesson Space. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's an online classroom, kind of like Preply, but we're better because we don't charge as much commission and we pay for trial lessons. But anyway, so we have this really good classroom tech, and because the technology is really great nowadays, as long as you've got a Wi-Fi, a stable internet connection, you can speak to anyone in the world. And our platform as well allows classroom teaching. So Preply's one-to-one, I think, only.
I think, yeah.
Most, yeah. Whereas our TO Academy has, you can do a class. You can do,
Group.
I think it's up to, I think the tech allows for up to 30 people in a classroom. So you can actually present to a large class of students, but those students can be in 30 different countries. So it's technology is the reason really why I do it remotely now, because it's there and I can, and it saves the commute.
True.
So that's a thing.
It's
Yeah.
better this
It
way.
gives me an extra 2 hours of work I can actually do at home. Yeah. And I have my home comforts
Yes,
uh,
I
for
agree on
that as
that.
well.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too. I work online and I think it's better
it
than
is.
offline. So, in this case, talking about the platform itself, so how do you choose your tutors? Are there any specific qualifications that you look for?
Yeah. So in terms of certificate qualifications, we're more flexible in that our speciality is that we have tutors of industry specific English. So, like myself, medical English, we have engineers and lawyers, and I can't think of any other industries, business managers, directors, any sort of industry you can think of. We have tutors that have that industry specific knowledge.
Okay.
And so the words and the language used within that are very niche. And so that's our fundamental requirement is that they have expert knowledge in a subject. We do also like to see formal qualifications, so a degree in their subject that area that they work in, a TEFL, IELTS, CELTA, some any those kind of certificates. But we do consider a really good resume, where there's sort of proof of, maybe mentoring in the workplace or leading a team or departments. And so there's no one size fits all as a requirement for TO, but we do personally vet everybody to make sure that they are experts in their field, because we attract students that want to live, work or study in English speaking countries, or want to do international business. And English is the sort of the lingua franca of business throughout the world, rightly or wrongly. In conferences, medical conferences, international conferences, English is required. It just is handy that I speak it, but yeah. So there's no formal requirement, but there is a more in-depth vetting, like individual vetting. Obviously, we need to make sure that they're who they say they are. So we require photographic ID and all those sort of essential things. We follow all the GDPR process, and we've got secure cloud storage and secure payment gateways for the students when they book lessons. So we invested a lot into getting the site, the platform right, so that the tutors were getting a good experience and well paid, which is one of my absolute passions, is to make sure tutors are paid fairly, because we're skilled, intelligent, usually degree educated professionals that should not be working for $5 an hour. But I'll not rant about that at the moment. Please see my LinkedIn if you want to see what I have to say about
Yeah,
that. So
that
I'm very
that
passionate. I'm very passionate about paying tutors properly. And it's not the students that refuse to do it. The students are willing to pay for those good tutors. It's a lot of the platforms out there are very unfair to the tutors. And
oh,
so I wanted exceptional tutors, and I wanted to attract them by making sure they're paid fairly, and the
true.
students are going to receive the specialist industry knowledge or academic English levels that they're paid for. Yeah. So that was kind
True.
of,
Yes, that's your responsibility. It's
yeah,
true. Yes, and I
I
think this
wanted
is
it
a
to be
great
ethical.
opportunity. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it is true. Yes, because we can see lots of places who doesn't respect teachers that much, we can say
Yeah.
in
And
general,
you can
about the
find
other
me on,
aspects.
yeah, you can find me
Yeah.
on a lot of those places. I have profiles on all of those other ones. Some of them take, well, 100% commission, 33% commission, or pay $10 an hour, or
True.
it's, yeah.
Yes.
And yes, they have platform fees they have to cover,
Yeah, of
but
course.
it's not, doesn't sit right with me. It's not, it's greed. To me, that's just greed from those big corporations. And
Of
I
course.
wanted to provide a platform that wasn't greedy, one that was a really had good technology, but was ethical and fair for tutors and students. So
Yes, there must
that
be
was
a
my
balance.
mission.
Yes,
Yeah,
of
there's got to
course,
be.
between all of
Yeah.
these things. I totally agree. And I think this is a great opportunity for all teachers who are going to listen to us now, who can
Yeah.
teach different majors. So that's
Yeah,
really
have you got
good.
any sort of specialist? And when I say
Yeah.
specialist knowledge, they are people like retail managers, people that have worked in department stores and done customer service. Those are skills.
True.
Those communication skills people want to learn. Hospitality industry, like I say, medicine,
Yeah.
engineering, law. There's so many what's
True.
called
To help
desirable occupations.
students, yes, studying abroad in different majors. So
Yeah.
that's a great opportunity to do that and
Yeah,
help them.
absolutely. And I've had that. I've had people coming personally taught student nurses, psychologists, oncology doctors, other healthcare professionals. I've even done like a 3 session course with somebody that had a place at university and just wanted to freshen up his English pronunciation. So I teach and I still teach and I love it. I still do that as well as running the all the other tutors on the platform. So
True. Yes, I think most of them seek pronunciation, just like what you have said. It's
yeah.
true. Yes, it's
And I
difficult for
love
some.
accents. I adore different accents. And people are like, I want to get rid of my accent. I'm like, no, accents are nice.
Yeah.
As long as you can communicate clearly and be understood, an accent is not a problem. But people do want to get rid of accents a lot.
That's beautifully said. I want to thank you so much. You have proved us that professional growth in TESOL, we can say, isn't about being dramatic or afraid of teaching or so on. No, it's often shaped by like small decisions or honest reflection as well, and a willingness to improve and to be better and what you do.
Absolutely.
So I think this episode serves as a reminder that development is not a destination, but it's an ongoing process, we can say. And I think it's one that continues as long as we remain curious, reflective, committed to our learners as well. So
Absolutely.
thank you so much for this
Thank you for
amazing
having
episode and
me.
for your insights.